Hello Spidey folks, good afternoon. In today's video I'm going to talk about things that you should know and things that you should be aware or prepare if you're going to Myanmar. As many of you have watched my video, I have recently returned back to Laos from my trip to Myanmar and I really enjoyed it. So in today's video I put all together some necessary information and I think it's going to be useful for those who are planning their trip to Myanmar. As we all know that Myanmar is still dealing with ongoing crisis within the country, the civil war. So traveling within Myanmar is not going to be as easy and smooth compared to its neighboring countries like Thailand, Laos, or Vietnam, Cambodia. Road trip is going to be slow due to many checkpoints, so your bus is going to stop many times. I couldn't count how many times the bus stopped from Yangon to Mandalay. It was nighttime and it was so many stops, and each stop you have to hand over your passport to the army man. So basically they will come into the bus with their gun. Everyone has to hand their ID card or passport so they can check, and then you go and then stop again, and you have to repeat the process over and over again. So it's going to be a slow trip. From what you think it's going to be 4 hours, it can be 5 to 6 hours, and you have to bear with it. Another thing that I found it different this trip compared to my previous one in 2023 was now you no longer need the insurance and there's no curfew. Back in the day, each tourist coming into Myanmar has to purchase COVID insurance through the Burmese government. I paid $50 for 15 days, and then the curfew. I remember taking the bus from Yangon to Bagan. We stopped midway from midnight until 4 a.m. until we were able to move again. But now there's no curfew imposed anymore, so that's a good thing. Another thing is please do not rely on too much online information. Countries like Myanmar and Laos, I don't want to rely on too much information online because it's either outdated or incorrect. Before I went to Myanmar, I've done so much research and I was very confident that I'll get it all. Plus my previous trip, I got, things will be fine. But then when I got there, things were not as straightforward as I thought it would be. For example, when I searched online, if it is possible for tourists to take a long-distance train ride from Yangon to Mandalay or Bagan, for example. Online resource said, yes, you could. But then when I was in Yangon, I went to the train station and asked the authority. They said, no, it's not permitted because of the safety reason. So do keep in mind that long-distance train ride is not allowed for tourists, except the circular train ride around Yangon that you could do. Also, please make sure to book your accommodation ahead of time. It's going to be challenging if you don't book it ahead of time, especially if you come during the weekend or during the public holiday, as accommodations in Myanmar is quite limited. The options is not as much as Laos or Thailand. So yeah, and also please bring lots of cash. I've said it many times, I'm gonna say it again, paying by card. If you're lucky, it may work, but forget it, it will never work. Getting cash from the ATM, that's such a pain in the ass. Paying for your hotel by card, forget it. Most of the hotel, I think 90% of the hotel would request you to pay when you check in. So basically you pay at the counter and they prefer you to pay in Burmese currency. Money exchange is another thing that you should keep in mind. Let's say if you land at the airport in Yangon and if you have to pay for your taxi from airport back to the city center, please make sure that you don't change like $100. Let's say just change $20, $25. I paid $30,000 from the airport to the central. That's about less than $15. Why? Because the rate is so different. Because if you change at the airport, that's the official rate. That's what you're gonna get. So let's say if I change at the airport, I would get like 2,600 kyat for $1 versus when I changed in the central in downtown Yangon, I got 4,400 kyat per dollars. So where can you find this money exchange in central Yangon? It's very easy. If you walk around Chinatown, you will see a few, as I saw. You can read like money exchange these places, you can go and ask what's the rate for today. Just don't go to the bank or any official place. You will get very, very less rates. Another important thing is please install VPN before you enter Myanmar, because if you want to get access to your social media like Facebook, Instagram, X, WhatsApp, as well as Messenger, you will need the VPN to get access to this, because it's all restricted by the government, except the TikTok and YouTube. These two, you don't need a VPN to get access to them. The things that I like about YouTube in Myanmar is when you watch the video, you will never see an ad pop up. It's like you're using the premium one, but actually there's no ad pop up at all. So when I was in Myanmar, I used this VPN called Siphon, which is the free version. I think most locals use it, but it's very, very slow. And I got warned by 2 locals to not use that one because the government can steal your information. I think the better option is probably NordVPN or ExpressVPN, whatever VPN that you think is safe for you. Just don't use that one. For me, I used it because I installed it on my smaller phone, which has nothing. I got nothing access to my, Visa card or anything like that, or social media. Another thing that you should keep in mind is the internet. It is just very slow in Myanmar, and I used MyTel. It is one of the biggest providers in the country, and it's super slow. I could never rely on it to upload my YouTube video on the platform. It just never works. So basically I just relied on Wi-Fi at the hotel. But that's another problem, because the electricity in Myanmar is unstable. It goes on and up. I think twice a day it goes up. And without the power, of course, there's no Wi-Fi. So basically, as a YouTuber, because the slow internet, my phone kind of keeps freezing each time when I edit the video, because I edit everything on my phone. And after I finished editing, as I was about to upload it on YouTube, boom, the electricity just went up, and you can tell. I mean, I was frustrating. So yeah, that's something that you should keep in mind as well. And the most important thing is never ever use your phone or hold your phone at the checkpoint. The army men would not like it. I was warned by the driver many times to not use my phone. I got distracted a few times. For example, on my way from Naypyidaw back to Yangon, as I was trying to check how far am I, from that point to Yangon, and I completely forgot that the 2 army men had just gotten into the bus, and one of them was not very happy. So he said something in Burmese. I presume that it must be something not nice, because everyone turned their head around. So they look at me. I'm like, sorry. And the moment he heard me that I spoke English, and when he saw my passport, he nodded his head, and just like that. If you're the local, it'll be worse. I saw a few times when local were late. They just fell asleep. It was nighttime. And when they got in there, gosh, these men, they love the power, as I could tell. The moment they got in there, they expect everyone to be obedient, to get ready to show their ID card or passport just like that, like this, and they love it. If you fall asleep or slow, they would yell at you. So please, be prepared. Another thing to keep in mind is traveling within Myanmar is, like I said, long distance train is not allowed. You will be traveled by bus. I think the best option to get around is by private car, if you can afford it. For me, I traveled by bus, and bus in Myanmar is so comfortable. The road is so good. If you're a tourist, you will get a JJ Express. So JJ Express is one of probably the best bus company in Myanmar. It's so comfortable, and all the staff there spoke very good English. So if you were to get to bus station in Yangon, you'll have to take the Grab. It's so far away. It's 1 hour drive from city center. And the best way to get there is by Grab or taxi. The name of the bus terminal is called Ang Mingala Highway Bus Terminal, and it's huge. It's one of the biggest bus terminal I've ever seen in my life. There's so many gates, and getting from one block to another is quite far away. You have to make an effort and walk through it. So yeah, like I said, the best way is by Grab or by taxi. However, if you want to take the local bus from downtown Yangon to the bus terminal like I did, you'll be looking for the bus number 116, number 35, and number 36. It leaves from Sule Pagoda Square. I'll put the video so you know where it is. So basically it's behind this bus stop. It's not at this bus stop, but behind this. So yeah, please keep in mind, Sule Pagoda is in the roundabout and there are 4 roads, left, right, front, and back. So please keep in mind you take from this one. And the bus ride from Central Yangon to this bus terminal is going to take 1 hour and 20 minutes and it will cost 500 kyat. Please be prepared, exactly 500. You will put the money into the box when you get in the bus. For me, because I didn't have the small change, I just put 10,000, which is still very cheap compared to what you'll pay, if you take Grab or taxi. All right, folks, I think that's it for today's video. I hope this information is helpful enough, especially if you're coming to Myanmar. So yeah, please keep in mind. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next EP. Bye-bye.